her.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they handled so much geography.
Yeah, they're kind of like our inside sales reps.
Yeah, so because I have South Jersey and Delaware, so when she had called me like when I first started for Delaware, I just assumed she had Delaware, and then she's like telling me her geography, and I'm like, oh, well, you have like a little bit of everything.
Right. Yeah, they do.
But then I think our South Jersey rep is different. It's Trevor.
Oh, right. Yeah,
So
Trevor has a ton of territory. They all have a ton of territory.
yeah, it sounded that way.
Yeah, we've got a map, and we'll send you an updated spreadsheet that shows our reps and their reps and who has.
All right, and just so you know, her reps were outdated.
Yeah, I know. I just updated him yesterday.
Okay, great. I told her like
You guys' region, I had it all. It was all whacked. I had, and I was like, tell me who your new reps are and where they are, and so I updated you guys. But there's probably, I sent the sheet to Lisa Ramey from Inside Sales and asked her if she looked at the Inside Sales reps, and I'm sure that's not perfect, but it's as close as I can get it right now.
awesome. Thank you.
Looks like everyone's here now. So,
All right.
I want to see.
yeah, would everyone mind just turning on your video quick?
Will you just turn it on just for a minute so we can see you? I don't care if you're in your pajamas or whatever. I see Jeff and me and Abby, and Maxine, you're kind of grayed out.
Let me see.
I'm trying to put it on, but
How do I get it? I mean, look. Let me see.
So you should see.
Oh, I see that.
Usually at your bottom left, there's a little camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I just don't.
Ooh, it's really bright.
She is.
okay, am I the only one challenged here?
So
if you have a sticker over your camera, that
yeah,
might be
you
the
gotta
reason.
take that sticker off.
Yeah.
Hang on. All right, come Head.
There we
Okay.
are.
Oh, hi. Good morning.
Morning.
You don't have to keep your video on the whole time. I just wanted to see who all was here. So
Okay, good. Bye.
Maxine.
I'm terribly vain.
Maxine, what you can do is, instead of your sticker over your camera, there's like a little. Do you see like our names on the?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you click, I think it's the little button at your top right of your name, like your little box. I think that's where you can turn off yours. And then it's also
the stop video.
No, bye, Jeff.
I just tested it.
Just do stop video.
Yeah, there's a little camera. You just click on that.
Yeah, like mine's down at the bottom too, or like join audio or stop the video.
Yeah.
And also if you go in settings, you can change the settings so that it doesn't automatically turn the video on every time, because I hate that, because sometimes you're not ready yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
But okay, cool. Okay, there's Lena. Okay, cool, great. Well, thank you all so much for joining. Abby's actually in the Spokane regional office. We're sitting in my kitchen right now.
Nice.
So she came out to work with me for a couple of days since the sales meeting's going on, and we thought, well, it's kind of a good opportunity for us to work face to face. So we're both here. And I'm going to turn off my video because you don't really need to see me. Actually, and this is your sharing your screen, right? I was having trouble showing mine. Yeah, that's fine. So you can go ahead with it. And you guys can hide your. So I know that a couple of you have been around for a while, so some of this will be, hopefully not new news, but it'll be a debrief if nothing else. So one of the biggest things that in the high schools right now is the certification of credentials, and more than just a high school diploma. A lot of states are requiring or highly recommending something more like a credential or certification. So we really have what schools and districts want, and businesses, because more and more are requiring that extra oomph, if you will. And so businesses want workers that have skills and knowledge. And a lot of times kids don't really know how to articulate what they know or what they learned in a class. If any of you have taught, you ever ask your students, like, what did you learn in, accounting this year? They're like, well, we don't know, I don't know, or nothing, or whatever. They don't really know how to articulate. So what you'll see with these certifications is that the knowledge standards are printed on the back, and it's a great reference or resource for the students, for them to say, these are the things I had to learn to pass the exam. So this is really interesting. If you've been around CTE or career and technical education, or if you're new to it, you're like, what? And maybe you took a course like a keyboarding and typing course, or a computer course, or a business course, or maybe you're an FFA or whatever, any of those career and tech classes. What's kind of nice is that we're getting better stats now. And so the average high school graduation rate is about 75%, but the kids who concentrate in CTE is 90%. So that's a 15% increase. It's really huge. Here were some stats that actually Precision Exams pulled in, even more of a breakdown of breaking it down by minority or at-risk the populations. And it's pretty powerful to see that these kids, they're going to school for a reason. They, it's, a lot of times it's hands-on. They might be in a shop or in a lab. Instead of saying like, why do I have to learn this? They see why they're having to learn it. So it just strikes a chord with them a little bit more in why they're going to school, and what they're doing makes a difference. So what happened is, back in almost a year ago in February, we joined partnership with Precision Exams. And Precision Exams is located in Salt Lake City, and they pretty much do end of course exams just for CTE. These just cycle through. What used to be, you went to a school to get into a better school, to get your college degree, to graduate, and hopefully get a job. And what's happened over the many years is that we have all these college graduates that are working at Starbucks because they can't find a job in their career path. And the trend has really turned around from, in elementary, middle school, kids really looking at careers and what's important to them or what they like, and then moving on into high school, following that track or a career path, and even in maybe doing some on-the-job training. And then when they get into post-secondary, whether it's a 2-year college or 4-year college, they're still in that track, and concentrating more, getting those credentials. And then when they get a job, they're actually getting a job for which they've been, studying, and it means a lot more for them, and it also means a lot more for the employer. So the trend is really changing from, we see all these college graduates with this huge debt, and they can't find a job in their career path. So when we joined partnerships, this was just a piece of the, what do we call it? The News Blast. What do you call that thing?
A Facebook and a tweet.
Yeah, it was.
message.
It came from corporate. Basically, it was. I don't know why my mind is blank right now, but they announced the partnership, and this was a little bit of where they showed National Geographic, and then Precision had theirs that was blasted. Go ahead.
I mean the press release.
Press release. There
Okay.
you go. Thank you. I was like, what's it called? A press release. And so Edson and Vincent both made statements and why this partnership's great. So if you think about what we have curriculum, Precision has exams. This is just what Precision, there's just a little blurb of theirs, and there's a video. We'll share the CCST page or Flex page. And I don't know if you newer reps have accounts, but if you don't, you'll want to get an account with the CCST page or Flex page, because it's a cool piece of kind of like a marketing slick. And we've created one for Precision, and it's really got all the tools that you need in it. And you could send out your own email. You could click in, have the link. I have it in my signature line, so does Abby. And if you click on it, then you can get to all the resources, and you don't have to be sending attachments to your customers. So you can just do one link, and it gets them all the information that you need.
Yeah. And how to do that, you would just email helpme@cengage.com and ask for a course page account. And then they'll set it up for you.
So on the Precision Exam site too, they have some blogs which are pretty cool. And Edson wrote this white paper talking about, certification and businesses and why businesses want students to have certain skills. So I just pulled out a couple of these, and we'll show you these or show you their website. But the exam creation process, sometimes your customers might say, well, how are these exams created? And basically what they do is every 3 years they revisit the exams, and they'll update those based upon what's happening in industry. They'll update them. They have SMEs, the subject matter experts, work on those businesses, teachers, all kinds of people who are content specialists in those areas. And then they have businesses look at those standards as well to say, does this meet the mark? Is this what you're looking for? So those are just a couple of blogs. And we'll send you this PowerPoint after the fact too, because there's some links in it. So when we join partnership, some of you know Goodhart Wilcox. Goodhart Wilcox is a competitor of ours. They only do CTE, and they're also partners with Precision, but only on their books. So they have some titles out that they've correlated. They've taken the knowledge standards and correlated it to their books. So we're doing the same thing, but we have an exclusive partnership where we can also sell the exams. So Goodhart can't sell the exams. They can just, they could promote it. They could say, hey, we're partners with, as far as we've correlated some of our books to Precision Exams and the course exams. Bottom line is they have about 7 reps, and they're much like our inside sales reps. They have a lot of territory to cover. As I mentioned, they're based in Utah. They're on the phone like every day. They do get out in the field a bit. We're trying to work more closely with them on, think about your state conferences, your CTE conferences, or maybe your big health or any of the CTE areas. Invite them to come out and work with you, because it'll be a benefit to both you and them. They can learn a little bit more about our titles. You can learn more about Precision and how they do business. And then, so we're really encouraging that, because what we have found so far is when our reps meet their reps face to face and work with them, it sort of clicks. It sort of makes more sense. And I think that, we've been doing this almost a year now, but we know that your book bags are really huge. We know you have a lot to sell. And the good thing about this partnership is you don't have to know how to any really thing about the exams as far as how to, the back end of it. Precision Exams will do all that for you. So we're just asking our reps to contact the Precision Exam partner and, introduce yourself if you've not. And even some of your big accounts, or just to say, hey, you might want to talk to so-and-so. They'll pick up the phone and they'll talk to your customers. They'll, you obviously want to mention it too, but they can really do the ins and outs of it. They're the experts in Precision Exams, and that's great. So this is really a partnership that's golden, because I don't know of anyone else that we partnered with that they sell our stuff for us, and they will. They'll sell the exams and train the teachers, demo, pilot, whatever the case might be. And the good news is whatever you sell, they actually get credit for, and whatever they sell, you get credit for. The only instance that you do not is if it's just a rollover. So think of it as, new business. If they already have been working with a customer and they're your customer too, and they're already using Precision Exams, and they just upgrade them another year or whatever, we don't get sales credit for that. But any new business we do, and vice versa. So anything that we sell, they also get credit for their territory. So what we're selling is a whole site license, and the site license, it's over 170 exams. And that's really the best way to go, is a 1-year site license, that very first one at $49.50, especially if you've got some career and tech schools across the board. They might have building and trade, ag, cosmetology, business. Then that's the best deal, because it's unlimited number of exams, unlimited number of students. There's 170 exams. A lot of schools do pre and post tests because they want to show student growth and see like where the students started before they started the class and then where they ended up. We also know that there are some schools, maybe you're in a regular school and they say, well, we only have health, or we only have, like business, or we only have trade and tech. So what we did is we took and we did the bundles, and these bundles are just for that content area. And we'll show you the, like the price sheet or all the exams, and you'll see how they're bundled. But basically they're bundled by the 16 career clusters. So for $2,500, they get all the exams under a career cluster. For the $49.50, they get everything. So here's a quick look. Now, we'll send you the link to the CCST page. And when you pull up that and you click into the Precision Exams, the brochure, this will come up. And I just took a screenshot of the 2 middle pages, but this shows in the red, you'll see the 16 career clusters, and then underneath them, you'll see the exams. And when you're on the website and you actually click into the exam, you'll see the knowledge standards. So everything in that yellowish, goldish color, those are the new exams this year. So they did 11 new exams. And you'll see that like criminal justice, for instance, is under human services. It's also under marketing. So a couple of them are in different, more than one category or more than one cluster. So those are all 170 plus exams. And these are end of course exams. And we'll talk about how they're different from like Certiport exams or ASE Cert, some of the other certifications out there. So here's the part of the brochure I just pulled that shows the clusters again, the pricing, the ISBNs. In addition to the high school site license, we also sell middle school site license. And so you'll see that price break is $2,500. And then all the bundles are $2,500. We also sell these, they're partners with NCHSC, which is the National Consortium for Health Science Educators. And they have this NHSA assessment. And these are actually into program exams. And we have about not quite half of the states are member states of the National Consortium, and about half the states are not. And I'll show you a grid here in a second of which ones are. So they get a break on the pricing. So they're $12 an exam for the member states, $15 for the non-member. And then we do sell the individual exams. So you don't really think of it like I'm going to sell you an accounting exam. You're really almost selling like a voucher, and they can choose whichever exams they want when they go in to schedule the exam. And then this is also part of the brochure, our brochure, that shows the last slide was showing the internal of it, and this is the back that shows the pricing and whatnot. And then a few little hot points, if you will, about the library, over 170. There are exams across all the 16 national career clusters. And what some people will do is they call them stackable into course or into programs. So when working with businesses say, well, this is great if they have that cert, but this is great if they have that one as well. And so some states are kind of making their own stackable credentials to say that, hey, if you have this, this, and this is way more valuable than just having, one. Everything's totally online, and the reporting, we'll talk about that a bit too, but that's the beauty of it, is that students can take the exam online. The reporting all comes to the instructor online. And if, like Abby, let's say I'm the teacher and Abby's at the district office and she's the CTE director, she can actually see those reports as well. Because what schools and districts like about it is that they can see how well their students did, and who's achieved what, which exams, how they did, and then even in the content area where they didn't do as well. And we'll show you a couple of those reports too. So here's the NCHSC, the National Consortium for Health Science, and these are the states that are member states. So I highlighted, I think Delaware is the only one in you guys' region that is a member state. And all it just really means they pay about, I think it's like around $1,200 or $1,500 a year. And part of that partnership does get them that reduced price for the exams. I don't remember what else they get, but it's just it's a consortium. So here are our partners, and I tried to put in red your states. And so really for Pennsylvania, well, we don't have anyone from Pennsylvania on the line, do we? I don't think. That's Alex Ewand. It looks like Lund, but it's Ewand. He's the top left guy there. And so you'll see all the states that these guys cover. So you'll see that Kelly does most of our states, or your states. And then Trevor does New Jersey. So you'll see a picture of Trevor there too. And Trevor has been, I think he's the longest, he kind of started when Precision Exam started, so he's been there the longest. And actually, these guys are all awesome, and they all know their stuff. So this is their information, and we have a spreadsheet too. I'll send that out. And I know Kelly, you mentioned that Kelly's sheet was not up to date, and I just updated that yesterday with mainly your region, just because of the new reps and comings and goings. So hopefully that's up to date now. So I'll be forwarding that out to you, and also to Precision. Just to share this with you too, I took your states, and we do this thing. I work with Adam Sanchez at Precision, and we do what we call the State of the Union. And just a kind of quick little debrief or recap of what's happening in the state. So here's a little bit of information, whether they're in CHSC. I think I got those updated now. And then whether they are contracted with Precision. You'll see that really none of your states are. And what that means is there's only about, as far as like a state contract, there's only a few states that are, where the state totally pays for the exams, so the teachers don't have to pay for them at all. And then some states, as you know, you have to be on their state list, and those are a little trickier. Virginia is a tough one. I know we've got a new rep coming on board, but you have to be on their state approved list. And so there's a few that we're working to get on that state list, but what we have found is working from the bottom up and just working with teachers and having them try it and pilot it, because if the teachers are pushing for it and say, yeah, we really want this, it's just one more kind of thing to offer our students, they'll help us push it up to the whether it's the district and or the state. So we've tried to keep this really up to date as far as resources. So if you go into Magellan and you look at resources, and if you search by discipline and you choose any CTE discipline and then just type in PE, you'll see all these things come up. And I always just then resort it by when they were posted, so you always have the most up to date. And like that hot sheet, I'll be reposting that one as well, because I'm updating that now, just with a few just updates of information. So the CCST page there's a link there for you, and Abby and I both have it, our signature lines. You can just use it as a generic, or you can go into your account and we can transfer it over to you, so you could customize it, and then that kind of puts your face on it. Abby, you want to click into that, and let's open that up.
Into this?
Yep.
So didn't you guys see my browser come up, or is it still just showing my PowerPoint?
It's still showing your
Okay. So I think I have to stop my share and restart.
That is so weird.
Because I had just clicked PowerPoint. So
Oh, did you? Okay.
yeah, so it was only showing that. Okay.
Okay, now we can see it. You guys good? Can you see that? You're all muted. That's fine.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, cool. Thanks. So what this is when you customize it, when you put it in your own, you can actually put your face at the top and your information. If you don't want to deal with that, I mean, we just keep this up to date, but it's kind of nice because all you can just share that link up there with your customers, and then they come into here. And when let's scroll down a little bit, Abby, but on that first part, the brochure, and we're not going to click into each of those, but if you click on the brochure opens up and shows all the exams and whatnot. There's a CTE website that just takes them to our website. And then there's the customized demo video. It's just a real quick video that customers can look, and it's done by Precision, and it just gives I think it's like 5 minutes. And then if you look down, there's the brochure again. I wanted to put it in a couple of places to make sure it wasn't overlooked. And then these reports, I have some screenshots in this PowerPoint, so we won't open these, but these are kind of cool because they'll show the student reporting, a resume, what it would look like after a student actually, fills it in with some of their knowledge standards that they didn't know how to do it before, and a sample certificate. We do have a poster board that was one of the first screenshots I think we showed. What we like to have is at your conferences. It's just to do a poster board and, just do an easel back on it. They're like $30 or so at Kinko's, or FedEx can do it for you, and just have it at your booth to show the partnership. For national shows, we have one of those big, huge floor banners that has the precision exams that we've been using at those. And then that's just the partnership announcement, like when we first, and then under the precision exams, these are a couple of those things that I just did those screenshots earlier to show. One of the newer ones that they put are your students industry ready, and just saying basically, do they have skills and knowledge, and can they share that with their prospective employers, as opposed to, hey, I got an A in this course. So that's a quick look at the CCST page or course page. And again, what's nice about it, there's a ton of attachments within it, but you're not really sending any attachments to your customers, because sometimes when you do that, it's blocked out or tossed into spam or whatever.
I have a question. So when we go into our page, how do we get to that link? I have a page set up, and with like my face on it, and where I can customize different pages. So do I just use that link that you?
No. So what we'll do is we'll forward it. What we do is we go into our account and we share it with you, and then when we do that, it'll show up in yours. It looks like Abby's going to do it right now. And then what you can do, I think it's called CTE, and
so it's in like that drop down. Okay, great. So just click on that.
Right. So right now, Abby's looking at hers, so she's going to share it with you right now. And when you pop into yours, you'll see it. And then you can.
And then when I want to share it, I just put in the emails of the customers who are getting it.
Like what you could do is like if you do an email campaign through Magellan, or if you're just sending an email, you can. We have to change the tail end of it so that it copies over to you. So if you logged into yours, was that Maxine that you just did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that Maxine talking?
That's Val Petrosky.
Yeah. Hang on, Val.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
You can see I have to scroll through all the names again.
What you can do is you can type.
You can't just type the letter, or no?
You can, but sometimes there's two rows.
Double. That's right.
Yeah.
So then if you scroll down a little bit and do it again, it'll
Okay.
Perfect. Oh, okay.
So now what we do is we just put your initials at the end, because it has to be slightly different. So,
Okay.
So when you pop into yours, then you can go in and you can, add yourself as a member, or what's it called, a member, or whatever. I think it's like you're a member, or you're where you choose your own name.
Okay.
And then that'll put your face up.
And then when I want to share it,
then you just copy that link. So when you open it up, you'll see the link up there at the top, and then just copy that link. And then if you want to do it as a hyperlink, you could say, you could call it whatever you want, just hyperlink it to there.
so you're sharing the link in an email as opposed to
Right.
sending the course pages out through the course page.
Right.
Because I was done it in the past where I actually put in the emails and sent the
Right. Well, you know what?
course page.
I think
You could do it either. Okay.
you can do it either way. The thing about the course page, it does do some analytics. I mean, it'll show you, it's called My Team. So if you click on My Team and add your name on that, when you open up yours, then it'll show your,
On my old team.
yeah, it'll show your face at the top of yours.
Yeah, there's training videos within this as well.
Oh,
So if
great.
you haven't been in here before.
Yeah, no, I've been using it.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if I was using it right.
Yeah, I think you're.
So Val, can you log into yours right now, and do you see it?
Yeah, let me see.
So it'd be called CTE instructors. I hate to rename it, but because that was when I created it so long ago, but.
Yeah, I think she's right. There is email delivery
Right.
or page customers. You can add customers that way, or end up sending an email through here once you're in the page.
Yeah, it's first on my list. I see it.
Cool. So when you
And it says content for. Rec 0 copy. All right, so I would use that little copy button to copy the hyperlink to an email, is what you're saying?
Right. So it'll look much like, it'll be like cengage.com/course pages and then something, something.
Yeah. If you ever click in it, what I do,
Yeah,
maybe
like,
this
I
isn't the
always just
fastest
open
way. Yeah. If
Yeah,
you just
just
open
preview
it
it.
and click preview, this is the actual
That's
link.
the link you want.
So I just copy.
Preview. Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, because I've been sending like the pages out through the
And you can do that.
Okay,
You
but
can
this
do
is
that.
better.
The
Yeah.
thing, well, like with the Magellan, if you do a email campaign through Magellan, then you could just, like some people do a campaign and just email a bunch of teachers, a bunch of contacts. Maybe you want all accounting teachers or all whoever's, and then you could just put the link within it.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, and then if you were going to do it through there, you would click on that email delivery and then type in the names, right?
Right.
I mean, that's the way I've done it before. Okay. I haven't I don't know if I've done it with the CTE pages, but I've created them for like science and some other stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
I think if you'd use the page, I'm trying to remember, but I think if you use the page customers here, then you're literally making, maybe a page for a specific school or something, and only those people will be able to get in. I think.
Right.
Probably sign
All
in
right.
with their email address.
And I watched that little training video. I didn't know that was there. Thanks.
So what some people will do too is they'll create a CCST page specifically. Let's say you have a big district, going through an adoption, and they'll create a specific CCST page for that district, and maybe they're up for, I don't know, math or whatever, and then you just add in, the ISBNs of what you want to show them. So Abby, pull up just another one this one's more of a, it's just PE, but grab like
Computer science or something.
yeah. So here's another good one. Abby did this one, and this is computer science, because we're seeing a lot more interest in that. So what she did is we went in and added, you just add in the content, you add in the ISBNs of titles, and it really is pulling from the catalog, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it kind of pulls all of this without them having to go to individual links on the website. It's all on one page. And they give you
All right, great. I'm glad I asked about that because I didn't know that we could share that link like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So share the link into an email, and then when they click on that, it'll bring them right to this page.
Exactly. Right.
Perfect.
And we've even done it for state adoptions where, it had whatever was up for state adoption, then the customer, the customer could go in this way and see all the titles instead of, like, I don't know, before we had these pages, or even when I was a rep years ago, I would do like a screenshot or I would lead them to the website. And this is nicer because it's, it's targeted. You're saying, I want you to look at these particular things.
Yeah.
Okay. So the ones that are put in there are the ones that are set up
Right.
when I go to my screen.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but if there's ever any, if you say like, oh, Abby can share, like this is one that she did, and she can do the same thing she just did with the precision, is she can send it over to you into your account, and then that way you could customize it by putting you as a member, and then it'll have your face and your contact information in it. Where we do it kind of nationally, so anybody can just use this as it is. Some reps just don't want to deal with it, so they could use it as it is, and we could go and update it any time, and it will automatically be updated. We just keep that link stays the same.
All right. Thank you.
Maxine, do you use the CCST page much?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I haven't, but I'm going to start now. But I have a quick question. I don't know if this is the right time, but do we have anything for cosmetology under PE?
Yes.
Yeah, we do. Oh, for
Okay.
under the precision exams, you mean?
Yeah.
Or CCST page. Are you asking about the CCST page, or are you asking about
Oh,
the
yes. Do we have, I'm sorry, for the
precision?
for precision exam, is there anything for cosmetology? And then the second part would be, and is it in a CC page?
Right. So Abby's done a CCST page for Milady.
Okay.
And she can share that with you. And I don't think I don't think Precision has anything for cosmetology.
No,
Okay.
there's national.
Yeah, because it's really, I mean, your best bet with that, obviously, now that we're selling Milady again, is the standard book. And, you know, we own a huge percent of the market out there, and they use it over a 2-year program. And then they have to take those state licensing tests and whatnot. So the Precision probably wouldn't make a lot of sense in cosmetology so much.
Okay, just asking. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we do have, though, if your teachers are looking for certification in cosmetology, the MindTap does have certification prep, and there's also a separate certification prep software that they can purchase that goes along with the book.
Okay, thank you.
And we're also going to be doing, you guys probably attended some of those virtual trainings in the other content areas, and we didn't have any in the like from start of school until December, because it was more of concentration on titles that you already knew a little bit about, but then digging a little bit deeper. So CTE, we've requested several, so hopefully we'll get some of those in the next few months. And one of them is Milady. And what's cool about the Milady stuff is, like Abby was saying, the MindTap is amazing. And then they've got that Studio Luma, those DVDs and that series, and they also have a hair cutting simulation. Abby tells a story. I think she was talking to somebody about a teacher's like, well, like I don't want to like learn how to cut hair from a video. And she's like, well, you want the first time they cut hair on a real life person? You know, so it's kind of that practicing and seeing it before you chop away at somebody or the mannequins or whatever.
Yeah, or even before, if you have 2 mannequins per student, it costs $50 for each one. You know, it's good for them to have some more online practice before they use all your resources. That woman was so, like, she just like stepped back and was like, you're going to have people only do it online? And we're like, no, that's not the point. That's never the point.
So anyway, we'll be doing a training. Next thing you know, Gerard McAvey, you know, he's been with the Milady team forever. And then we've got a trainer that's going to work with us too. And so we'll be doing a webinar, and we'll record it as well. But we're going to be doing Milady. We're going to be doing something on accounting, because we have our new accounting edition coming out in March. So there's a few other things that we've kind of requested. But one of the big things with Milady is, is the MindTap. And, you know, you all know or will know, if you're newer, MindTap and goes across the board, but there's some pretty cool things in CTE that are very different in MindTap, like hands-on kinds of things or test prep, simulations, that type of thing. So I pulled this from something we did much earlier when we first joined partnerships with them, but, you know, like, you have a zillion things to sell. And basically, when you're talking to any CTE teacher, whether it's, you know, business or computer or AutoCAD or building and trade, whoever, is to mention, and I would carry, you know, the precision exams for sure, because it shows at a glance, when you open it up, you see all 170 exams, and it's around the 16 career clusters. In our website, you go to our CTE website and you scroll down a little bit, precision exams is right there as well, and it pops you right into the 16 career clusters, and you can choose an exam, and then when you open up the exam, you could go ahead and do that.
Yes.
Abby's running the controls here. So when you pop into here, there's the national 16 standards, the national career clusters. And if you pop into any of them, so she's going to do finance, and then let's say she chooses one of them, accounting, it'll open up the standards. So when teachers look at this, they are like, I teach this. It's like, well, of course you do, because these are written around the state national standards and what industry is saying is important. What I like about it too is, see next to the standard, it'll show the percent. So like this first standard, 13% of the exam is made up of this first standard. The next standard, 17%, and so on. Keep scrolling, Abby. And then when you get to the bottom of it, you'll see each of the standards. And then when you get to the end of it, hopefully this one has it, Some of them don't. No,
Oh.
this one doesn't. Some of them also have a performance objectives, and these are more like checking off. There they are. There's some
here we go.
performance ones. So most of them do, where the teacher says, now you show that you know it, but now I want you to show it, not just say it or take an exam, but now these are more like performing it. So teachers like those as well. But this is where I would always lead the instructor, especially when you're, telling them about the exams, to say, just go in and, pull up the standard and see. And, they will say pretty much 95% of what's in here they teach already, which they should. I always just say, unless you made up your course, it would. Okay, let's go back to the PowerPoint. So I would give them the brochure. I would just mention it. And, really with any call, it's just another piece, because we have the curriculum, we have the stuff that they teach. And then this would give them the exams, the end of course exams for certification. And then there's a couple other things like the certificate on the front and back. The certificate on the front has the student's name and the exam, and on the back are those knowledge standards. And then there's a student report. So all these things are actually in that CCST page. The student report, the teacher report, and then there's that link again for the CCST page. So here's an example over to the top right. Here's what the certificate would look like. And then on the back with this business management, then you actually see the standards. And this is where it really shows, even like the Microsoft Office certifications, the MOS certifications, they don't really, I feel like they almost miss the mark, because you can say, well, I'm certified. What does that mean? Well, it means I had to know this well enough, as a benchmark to pass that exam. But students really don't, again, know how to articulate or to say, well, I learned this, this, and this. And this is kind of a cheat sheet for them almost. They get the cert, on the back are the objectives or the standards that they had to have met to pass the exam. And they could use this for resume writing. They could use it for job application, or for even a college, filling out college paperwork, to get into a college. But it's just a help for them to say, yeah, these are the things I learned.
Yeah. And the other awesome thing to remember about these standards is it's not just teacher talk. It's not just what the teachers want. It's actually what business partners have said that they want in their, future employees. So it really is the best thing to put on your resume, because it's already pre-checked and partially written by businesses that are out there.
Right. And then here's just an example of, think about when you were in high school, and I taught business courses, and I teach kids how to write a resume, and they didn't really have any job experience. It's like, well, did you babysit? Did you cut grass? Did you, like those are things that you could show responsibility, those kinds of things. But here is an example of where a student just took basically those knowledge standards and put them into the resume. So, again, if I ask any of my accounting kids, what did you learn this year? I'm sure they wouldn't be able to say, well, I understand the accounting equation. And, so it's all kind of written there for them, and they can beef up their resume. And then here's an example of a teacher report. It shows instant feedback online. It comes like in a spreadsheet, and they can see, this is an example of a health exam or a sports med. And so where we saw those objectives, so here are the 10 standards. And what's cool about this is the teacher can actually see their students by name and how they did on each standard. So if, student 1, they did pass, but on standard 3, they only got, 50%. So if they didn't pass, I'd probably go back to standard 3 and say, well, let's go back and look at injury prevention principles. Or if everybody tests poorly in an objective, then maybe that's where I need to look in the mirror, because maybe I'm not teaching it to my students because I don't like that thing or whatever. So it's really used for program improvement as well as for instant feedback for the students, and to see how they did in the areas in which they were tested. And then a lot of states have to show student growth. So what's cool about this is most people will give the exam in the first couple weeks of school or the course, and it's before the student knows anything about that. So it's whatever common knowledge they brought. So they'll do a pre-test, and then later in the year they'll do, at the end of the course, they'll do a post-test. And then what the student report actually shows is these didn't come out very dark. The green over there's actually some numbers that shows percent growth, but it'll show that they started here and they ended here, and this is the growth. And many states have to report that to their districts and to their state.
And this is, Trish, this is where it's comparing to the other students in their state, right?
Right, exactly. So you can see, the teacher can see how their student did compared to other students in the state. Right, thank you for pointing that out. And then here's just what happens is after the student takes the exam, it'll ask them if they want to have the report sent to them, and we're not allowed to require their email, but if they want it, they can put in their email, and then this report is sent to them. The teacher also has this report, but it's kind of nice that they've got it electronically, so if they wanted to actually send it to someone or share it with somebody. So it's basically what we saw before. It shows the standards, and it shows their name and what exam it was and how they did. And these are the two reports that do basically what I just showed you, but this is Precision's. They've got a nice little slick. This is front and back of that slick and shows that. And I like just to show this because it really says a lot about the student growth, and also about the objectives and about program assessment, that type of thing. And so on the CCST page, this is linked in there as well. So again, if you send the CCST page, all these things that we're saying are cool, they're already in the CCST page. So you've got all of these. As far as when you click it, it'll be a PDF. It just pulls up the PDF. So one of the big things too is your work in your states and student organizations like FFA and FBLA and BPA, all of those, DECA, really involved in these student organizations. And a lot of times, as you know, our books correlate or map to the Winning Edge is one of the features that we use in a lot of our business titles that show that these are where the competition areas are, the competitive things. And so if you're talking to any of your student organization teachers, those advisors, they would be very much interested probably in the exams as well. Precision actually has a partnership with the Business Professionals of America. And so this year, for the first time, those students will actually have access to the Precision exams to practice. Also, we're joining partnership with HOSA so that the HOSA students can get into MindTap, and also Precision exams. And eventually what will happen with the BPA is that their exams will be on the Precision exams platform. So, of course, Precision exams would love to have this happen with all the student organizations, and they're really working to make it happen. But it's, national organizations, so it's not a quick thing. But definitely we're working on the partnerships. So what we've done on our end as well, this was just updated by Nicole Robinson. I almost said her old married name, her old previous name. But she updated this. And so what we've done is in part of the contract and part of the partnership, we agreed to correlate 20 books in the first year. And we've done that. But as far as putting the imprint, the Precision exams imprint on the front cover, it's like when that book is published. So actually, I think I have 2 books right now that just published in December, January. So what we did is we actually put a new ISBN on it, and we're calling it the Precision Exams Edition. But what it has is their stamp on the front, their logo, and then in the front matter, it shows that this book has been correlated to the Precision exams, whichever exam it was. So here's just a quick list of some that are just now being published, but they've done the correlations for over, I think it's about 22 or 24 titles. And we have those on a OneDrive. You can certainly share those with customers. I can't remember if we put that on Magellan, like the link. If we haven't, we need to do that.
The correlation list?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is on there. Okay. So,
well, I don't think the live link, it's a Excel document.
Okay. An Excel document that shows which ones. But you can share those with customers. And then what's also happening is when a teacher goes into their SSO or their NGL Sync account, they can, when you go into your online companion, the online instructor companion, it'll have the correlation there as well. So those are some of the titles.
And I've been getting some questions from reps. Their customer will see that there's a new edition of sports and entertainment marketing coming out. Do I need to adopt it right now? Well, the conversation is, these books are now 100% correlated to precision exams. And since these were, some of the first ones that we correlated, that means that they were really close already to being 100% correlated, right? So there have been some changes. There might be a couple extra paragraphs or more coverage of certain areas that precision exams listed on their standards. But really, it's just a new way to have another conversation about a course that maybe you wouldn't see a new sale for 3 or 4 or 5 years. And it's a way to talk about precision exams, bring that up and let them make the decision if they do want to purchase new books now. Or almost all of these, I think all of these on this list do have mind taps, and the mind taps are updated with the precision exams content. So it's another way, maybe if they bought only print 2 years ago, maybe you can move them to mind tap now and get another sale in addition to a precision exam sale. So it's really a nice way, even though the books aren't really a new edition where they have tons of changes in content. It's a way to have another conversation and maybe make another sale.
So here's the ones that just, these are, well, you'll see the dates over there. So these are the ones, and this is the new ISBN, which is the PE, the Precision Exams edition, if you will.
Yeah. And these, I've been working to add these onto our website. So on our website, they will have the title and say Precision Exams Edition. On the book, it'll have the Precision Exams logo and the same title. But if you're looking for it in Magellan or our website, just type in Precision Exams Edition and you'll see all of them come up. But we are working to update our Precision Exams website on our side as well to make that much clearer on which books are correlated and take you to those product pages.
And here you'll see the course. The course is what on the Precision Exams brochure. So it's for the course is called Personal Financial Responsibility, but the title of our book is then the Personal Financial Literacy book, and then the ISBN. And then so that one's already out. And the sports and entertainment one, I think I just got that copy. So the ones that we kind of pushed some of these to 1/1 so we could put a new copyright on them, because you can cheat by a year. So we wanted to do that as opposed to getting them out in December. So these are the new ones right now.
Abby, could you please repeat what you said about what precision exam material is included in the MindTap?
Right. Yeah. So all of these are our courses, but all of these books here, which are a lot of our biggest sellers, our principles of business, entrepreneurship, basically we had someone go through and check that, either this book already had 100% correlation to the exam, but most of them we had to write a little bit of extra content throughout the book. So it's not like highlighted like this is a precision exams thing. There might be some new paragraphs or maybe even a new figure or something that highlights things that students would have to know for those exams. So if the teacher's been using the book for a long time, they might not notice a ton of changes right away. But what it's doing is they can be assured that when they're using this version of the book, that it's going to cover the content that students need to pass that precision exam. So if you go into, it should be soon, the correlation files, you can access those that actually show where in the book it's meeting all those standards. But
it's like
those
a
are
spreadsheet.
Yeah, but those are also added to the instructor resource site. So I think you had mentioned, Trish had mentioned, when you go into NGL Sync for the MindTap or something into the teacher resources, teachers can pull that Excel file that'll show them literally on the pages where that book is meeting all of the precision exam standards.
And if you need to see that,
Okay.
if you need to see that ahead of time, we have them all in a OneDrive, and you can actually share, if a teacher's looking at a specific one, like where I would lead them, I'd lead them to, those 16 career clusters, then click into the exam where you see the standards. But then if they say, well, how does that book correlate? Then, you can send them the actual correlation, which is a spreadsheet that shows, much like any of the other correlations that we've done. And, I'm thinking about it. We probably need to add them on our correlation page.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just was thinking that Abby's been working with Jill, and we're not excited about, well, let's just say this. the CTE website we feel needs a really big facelift, and we've been
Yeah.
trying to work on it. It's just different than all the others, and we want to do more of series pages there and have a lot more content. So Abby's been working really hard and working with them. It's just getting the time for them to update our pages, but you'll be seeing a lot more for on the website for CTE.
Yeah, our goal in the next month or so is that, you know, your best selling resource will be to just go to our Precision Exams website page, and you'll be able to talk about all the key points that are the key benefits from Precision Exams, have instructors watch the video, and it will very clearly show you all of the titles that are correlated to those exams. So it'll be a much easier resource to use very shortly. Yeah.
Thank you.
And this is just, we're just going to zip through this. This was kind of an older document. But these are some of the titles too going forward, and how kind of what Abby was talking about, the correlations will go in the MindTap, and then also on the Instructor Resource Companion. And then what she was also saying is, like, any of the texts when we first looked at those, if they weren't 100%, we may have added some additional resources on the Student Online Companion and or on the Teacher Online Companion. And then as the books are being reprinted or revised, then that's when we're putting the Precision logos. So just because we only have like 5 or 6 or 8 titles right now, we have many more, but it's just not time to reprint them yet. And so as those come out, you know, be assured we have like 22 already, you know, mapped to meet 100% or very close to 100%. So that's how we're kind of handling it.
And this is where I'm really excited about this partnership, because if you're looking at it from Precision Exam side, let's say that one of your Precision Exam partners is already talking to a school district, and the school district is bought in and they say, you know, we did a pilot with Precision Exams and it totally helped our students. Now, you know, what other courses can we do this in? We want the whole site license. Well, now we need books that correlate to all of these programs. So this partnership is really a way to kind of sweep CTE at a school. And likewise, if you already have a school that's using a lot of these books because they're longtime Southwestern users or longtime Del Mar or Course Technology users, you know, if they're already using 3, 4, 5 courses with these books that are correlated, why wouldn't they want to do Precision Exams? It's just giving their students more opportunity. So it's really, I think, a great partnership in both ways, whether you've got a school that's been using our books or a school that's interested in Precision Exams and hasn't been using them. It's a way to kind of sweep the department.
So sorry about that music. We're in my kitchen, and I have a little musical clock and on the hour, which also tells me that we're at the end of our hour with you. So I'm going to rush through a couple more things, but here's like next steps. So if you've not talked to your Precision Exams partner, that's number one. You want to get a hold of them, send them a quick email, talk to them, and really seriously, don't be afraid to say, hey, I would love for you to talk to the school district or this particular person, especially, you know, if you've been around for a little bit and you know, if you're new, you're still trying to figure out and get those relationships going with your customers. But, you know, even just to mention it, but you can turn them over to Precision Exams and they'll do the selling for you for PE. So you don't need to learn it. All you need to know is those few things that we've talked about. It's instead of just an A, B grade, students can actually walk away with an end of course certification that it means more than just a grade. And you know, they'll do the demo, they'll do the training, they'll do all of that with your customers, so you don't really have to worry about that at all. These are just a couple links that I put in here from past training. We did the partnership training. So there's just some additional resources if you have time or you want to go look at those. So just very quickly, we have not announced this yet, but you guys are privy to this information. But this month, beginning in January, Precision's going to offer, and think of it not like what we consider a pilot, but they call it a pilot license promotion. And what it is instead of the $49.50, they're selling the whole site license for $2,000. It's really it's for new customers only, people who are not using Precision Exams yet. It gives them the bank of the whole 170 exams. The only exempt states are listed here: Utah, Washington, New Hampshire, and Indiana, just because we have Precision has different partnerships with them. But it gives an unlimited testing now until the end of the school year, which is July 1. This is a great way to get customers in and let them kind of try it for, really, it's virtually even more than half off. so they're going to be doing some campaigns, and we are too. And we, like we said, we've not announced it to our reps yet. So you're hearing it first. And I'm just waiting on some verbiage from Precision, and we'll be doing a national campaign. But this is something you can certainly promote. And I think we're going to probably just do a code, like a promotion code. That'll probably be the easiest. Or you can actually just quote the whole thing and just mark it down from the $49.50 to $2,000. But so this has been done very successfully. They tried this last year, and had a lot of people who said, you know, I just don't want to invest that kind of money. I'm not sure if I'm really sold on it. So this is a way to get people in and get them using, because once they see how easy it is and the extra thing that they're offering their students, it kind of ropes them in. Yeah. And then just going forward, we're just asking the reps and, all of you, as you're working your state conferences, to get a hold of your Precision Exams rep and say, hey, invite them in, because they're a much smaller company, a much smaller number of people and resources and whatnot. So they're not going to be at every state meeting just because affordability plus, picture an inside sales rep, they have many states. So if I were you, I would, as you know, your schedule going forward, conferences coming up, just invite them, tell them to come out, and they'll work with you in the booth. And really, they're not going to take any extra space, because they're going to use the same brochures that we use, or they have their own brochure, but we have one very much like it and have our ISBNs. Kelly actually came out to ACTE, and it was great to have her there, because we just, she talked to customers, and then she talked to our reps, and a lot of the reps walked away going, well, now it makes a lot more sense just to, I don't know, I guess just a one-on-one and hearing it more from, and listening to a Precision Exams rep, talk to customers about it. So I mentioned the HOSA, the partnership there, and also when you're scheduling for a conference, ask whoever to say, because in some of your bigger meetings, Precision Exams will have their own booth there. So just say, a lot of times they'll say, do you want to be in a certain area or not by somebody? Say, well, Precision Exams there, we want to be together, close together, side by side. And that's been an easy ask. I've done that several times, and the person, organizing is like, oh yeah, absolutely. If they're not going to attend, because of size or whatever, invite them in. And I think that you'll see a good benefit there for you and for your customers. So this is really just an update showing what we're going to try to do, and this has not been announced yet either, so giving you a little bit of privy information. But what we're going to do is to bundle a Precision Exams exam quote, if you will, basically to our customers. And so we're working with Precision now to make that happen in pricing. So really, we're just going to up the price. We're asking for like $5, add $5 onto the text. And you know how we bundle now, Student Edition plus MindTap? It'll be Student Edition plus MindTap plus PE exam, 1 year, 6 year, and then digital only 6 year. So this hasn't happened yet, but this is our proposal to them. And again, it's just another way to get customers in and getting them to use it. Because once customers start using it, I've never had anyone say, oh, we hate these, or we don't have time for these, because it's one class period out of the year, or two if you're doing a pre and post. So just a little bit of privy here. The next one, I think it's just another slide on. And this just shows the example of what we're proposing. So on the left is how it is now. On the right is what we're proposing. So we're waiting to hear back from Precision. They're all about it, but we're just kind of waiting about that price break, because we just want to kind of, if you will, bury the price within it, and not really, it's like they have it, and then in the front matter, it'll have a little paragraph to talk about the exam that book is correlated to. And it's really just another benefit that you're giving your customer.
Yeah. So the conversation will change from, okay, you've already bought the book. Now, are you willing to, buy more? The conversation will change from that to saying, hey, you bought the book. You already have access to this. Let me hook you up with your Precision Exams partner so that you can use it, what you've already purchased. And then if you love it, we can talk about a site license.
And I'll tell you what's so easy about getting them set up. It's much like our SSO accounts. Remember when, you have a customer before Intel Sync, but so they go in and they register, and that's basically exactly how PE does it. They register, they show their license number to make sure they're a teacher and not a student, and then they're in. And each state has their own website, and it's just precisionexams.com/ and then the state typed out. It takes them in, and that's where a teacher or a student logs in to Precision and they're choosing it. And Precision exams will get them all up and going. So you don't have to worry about that. These are just some of the certs that you see out there. We're out of time, so I'm just going to plow through this really quick. So here's just some, like, who should you contact? Maybe some of the questions that you might ask as you're talking to instructors. And then one last thing is what we've been asking is that, and the managers have been asking the reps to, when you're doing a price quote, is to include Precision as actually go to the next page. This is an example of what Scott does, but at the bottom of his, it's other products considered. And so he'll list it in the other products. And then you'll see down there, he put his own comments in there. And then actually go back up one slide again, back to the previous slide. He also, and maybe some of you do this as well, is when you send your customer a price quote, you might send them an actual email and say, hey, here's your quote that we talked about today. And then it's just another opportunity for him to say, note that I put Precision exams in there, and again, to kind of open it up. And he's been very successful doing this because customers will go like, well, what's that? Tell me more about that. And so it's to kind of a way in. And absolutely, I mean, Vincent's all behind this. They're really requiring it of reps to every CTE quote that you do is to put that Precision exams in there. And Scott does, go back to his quote again. He did a bundle here. So he was selling the entrepreneurship book, but then he did like the bundle instead of the whole thing, because he says it kind of scares people when they see $49.50, but if they only see $2,500, or you'll see in his email, he'll say, or right here it says, or as low as $8 an exam, so he's really kind of piquing their interest, but it's not actually part of the quote. It's just other things to consider. So you should be doing this on all of your CTE price quotes. And again, I definitely know that it's worked for him. He's been very, very successful with selling Precision exams, even like the smaller licenses, because of putting it on the quote. So again, I already mentioned this about the credit. You do get sales credit. The only time you do not is if it's just a rollover. Like if Precision Exams is already selling a site license and they just roll it over, then that's, you didn't really do anything to make that happen. But other than that, so when you ask them to help you or, put it on your quote, and then you kind of turn it over to them to sell it more or to show it, we do get the sales credit for that. So. And then these are just a couple of pictures of how the exam, multiple choice and whatnot. Go ahead. And then that's pretty much it. I'm sorry we went over time. Do you have any questions or concerns or comments?
This is Val. I had a couple questions. The pilot, you said I know that we're not going to promote it yet, but do they do free pilots? Because in the past, whenever we've done a pilot, it was free.
Right. So,
and you're saying it was 2,000, and I'm just not sure.
Okay. So if you want to do what we consider a pilot, they'll work with your customer to do a free pilot, and they'll set them up. But it's they were doing that. They don't. At first, when we first did it, they're like, no, we don't really pilot. They do on certain, like if you're working with a large district and you're really trying to get them in, you can run a free pilot, and you would work with Precision. They'll set it up for you with the customer and run it. But here's just another way of, this is to get them to, this is a buy pilot. So that's why it was kind of said, don't think of it as the pilot as we think of it. This is a program where they're truly saying, hey, it opens up the whole thing. In the free pilot, they typically don't open up the whole can of worms, like all the exams. They might choose a couple, or they might choose a cluster. But this is, again, something that they have tried to really get customers in to. I mean, I would always, obviously you want to go for the paid pilot first, because it's money in your pocket as well, and to kind of get their investment in it. But if you are working with a district and you have they've done like pilots where maybe there was a teacher and they wanted to, try it for a little bit, and they do it for a kind of a limited time. But what's nice about this pilot license promotion is really to, even with our regular pilots, we do paid pilots or we do like free pilots. And though it's always best to, try to get the money and do it that way. But what's nice about this is to saying, hey, you don't have to invest the whole $49.50. For $2,000, we're going to give you all 170 plus exams unlimited until the end of the school year. So especially for courses that are semester courses, this is great because as they're coming back from break, the semester started, and it's a great time to, get them up and using it because they could do a pre and a post test very easily.
Okay. And another question, just quick. I'm looking at the residential construction brochure that we have, that RCA, and it does say that the test for student certification may be ordered through the NOCTI website. And is that a competitor? Like, I'm just confused. Like,
Yeah. So
that certification.
Right. So that partnership is with the home builders, and that is kind of separate. NOCTI, that organization works with NOCTI. NOCTI is a competitor of Precision Exams, so it's different. That's just kind of a different partnership, if you will, that we got involved with those RCA books.
Yeah. So if you're talking to a construction, director or teachers at a CTE school, we've kind of got two different options. We've got the RCA series, and they might have been already set up where they've been using RCA for a really long time, and they kind of, set all of their curriculum to RCA and the home builders, so they know that they want to use that. If they're not that customer, I would push our other books, which have been published by Del Mar for a long time, like our Del Mar Standard Electricity. Basically, those students are learning, electrical skills, plumbing skills, basic construction, and then they might have some more advanced things, and that's what the RCA series is doing. We have other books that are amazing that have mind taps for a long time and have the simulations, like our Del Mar Electricity book, our Plumbing 101 through 301 books, and our Spence construction book. And those all have mind tap with the simulations. So I'm bound to, first pitch those books. But if they're a customer who they've been doing RCA and that's the curriculum that they have, then you push them that way. But the books that will be mapped to our PE exams will be more the Del Mar series, which you're looking at Spence, Del Mar Standard Electricity, and the Plumbing 101 to 401 books.
Right, like the fuller books, the bigger books.
Yeah.
So that's not in that big brochure that we have. That big, long brochure.
Oh, the certification brochure?
Right. The 2017-2018 Career Technical Education Catalog.
I'm pretty sure we have Del Mar Standard Electricity in there. I'd have to go and look for the other ones.
Are you talking about the print catalog?
Yeah, it looks like this.
The big certification.
Yeah, we also have a certification brochure. Look
This
at
one.
and yeah, okay. So you're looking at the catalog, and that
Is the electrical stuff in this one, or is that in the
I don't know if it's in the catalog or
Oh, the full
Yeah.
CTE catalog?
yeah.
because I have this one too, this RCA one. But then
Yeah. So that's
so that one's the one that has
The NOCTI.
not precision exams.
Right, you're right.
Okay,
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
thank you. I just wasn't sure because
Yeah.
I have a customer I'm working on all this with, so I want to make sure I'm giving them the right information.
Right. So are they already an RCA customer? Are they already using?
No, this is a brand new, like she's writing curriculum now,
Got it. Well,
and I have a meeting coming up, so I want to make sure I bring in the right stuff. So I won't bring this in, I'll bring in the other stuff.
right. Well, and the thing with the RCA is that those books are really what HBI is saying. Hey, for carpentry, you don't need this, 600-page book. You need to know these things. And so the RCA series, those residential construction books, smaller, they're written at a little bit easier readability. And
Okay.
they're really what HBI is saying, hey, this is all you really need to know. I mean, not that the other stuff is fluff, but it's other stuff that's good to know, but this is what you really have to know. So you'll notice the RCA books are much smaller. They're almost like a pull from, bigger content books.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well let them, if it's a new customer, show them both options.
Yeah.
I just always am geared towards whatever has the cool simulations in MindTap because of that. I think that's the most fun.
Okay.
But, so it's either way. I mean, the Del Mar Standard Electricity, that's a book like this big, and it's got tons of simulations in there, and that's going to get them, that's going to lead them to the full national exam for them to actually be an electrician, like right after, high
All
school,
right.
after they go to a 2-year program.
Right.
So,
All right. So use that. All right. Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Well, we really appreciate your time this morning. Sorry we went over, but hopefully you got some decent information, and we'll forward the PowerPoint, and I'll also send you the spreadsheet that has our reps and Precision Exams reps on it, and with their phone numbers and their contact information. Their email is all the same. It's their first initial last name at precisionexams.com, but it's got all the info there. So if you have not talked to your Precision Exams partner, that should be number 1 on your list to introduce yourself, and you can get an update from them too, and you can also tell them what you're working on or where you want them. And they are in an office, so if you call them, I mean, they're just like our inside sales reps. They're on the phone all day. So don't give up just because you get their voicemail, because that just means they're doing their job. But email them and say, hey, what I do is I'd schedule a time with them. That's the best way. Schedule like a half an hour time frame, and just get on, do a Zoom or do a just a call and talk with them.
okay.
Well, thank you again so much. We really appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your day. And
Thank you.
okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So much,
Thank you.
Abby. Thanks, Trish.
Bye.